You can have the 8 too.
Oh, cheers, mate, because I'm older.
Right, so we've got this here just to remind our French friends of what it actually looks like, because we've won one.
Got one in the cabinet.
So our cabinet is stacked with one already, guys. All right. So hello, welcome back to Up the Villa. We're at Patty Freaks to preview a huge game, PSG v Aston Villa, and biggest preview we've ever done.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
biggest game.
Say every week, they're in the biggest preview, the biggest game coming up. The next
biggest
one's
game that.
You can remember.
100%.
Yeah, it's got to be. Isn't it?
You know the magnitude of it. You know we've been to the FA Cup final, but a quarter final of the Champions League.
I mean, Rotherham away was massive for me, but this is just a step up slightly, isn't it?
Yeah. How are we feeling about it?
Oh, I can't wait. I think we're in. Since Emery's arrived, I don't think we've been in such a brilliant place. Do you?
Nah.
I think everything is just, we've had ups and downs this season, more downs than ups up to this point. But at this precise moment, going into the biggest game of a generation, of probably 4 generations, we couldn't be in a better position. We've got everybody fit. We've won 7 in a row. The confidence levels are just like up and up and up and up. And now we're going to a club that has, they've transformed themselves, over the last 20 years with the investment. And I don't think we could be as prepared for this game as we are now.
I mean, for the club and the players, this is the pinnacle.
That's why they're here.
The pinnacle of everything that they have worked hard for in their whole lives to play in this game, this magnitude of game. It doesn't come around that often. And I think now it's a chance for us to rise and step up and believe, and for however long this game's going to last, 90 minutes or 90 plus extra time, the players that we've got have really got to just be there for the whole thing. It's going to be so intense. They've got to make sure that they're listening to Emery, his plan, his motivational talk before the game. They've just got to realise that this is Martin, it's not the biggest game of his career, is it? Because, by the way, guys, he won the World Cup as well against France. We'll put that one in there as well. But it's a huge game for a lot of players, and we've got a very young team as well. And, Onana, I was looking the other day, he's 23, Onana. I look at him and I think he's a man mountain, but he's 23. Ramsey, Rodgers, we've got a very young team as well. And for them, it's got to be intense, but we know as fans of Aston Villa who've won this trophy in '82 of the history and the heritage that it gives us. But these players are on the cusp of being able to achieve like immortality, like Whiff, like Mortimer, like Spinksy. We can't just look at this as just any other game. This is a huge opportunity to get to a semi-final, and we're not here to just take part. We're here to go through, and I think what's at stake, we've got to make sure that we are fully prepared and ready for it. What are you saying, Roy?
Yeah, 100%. It's an elite tournament. This is the pinnacle of European club football, and we're in the last 8, and we will dissect Paris Saint-Germain, and they are elite. They are elite, and so are Real Madrid, and so are Barcelona, and so are Bayern Munich. This is the elite of Europe, and we're going toe to toe with them, and I feel there's an Arsenal in our squad that we can do damage against these teams. We belong. We're at a point where we deserve to compete against these teams. So, we top the league. I think that's kind of been lost in the season, that we come top 8 in that league stage. Like with all them teams, look how Paris struggled as well. So we are grasping this occasion, and like you say, the players, the story of this squad and where they've come from. You know, we talk about Emi Martinez has won the World Cup, but you know he was like rolling around from club to club in the Championship, trying to get his career on track. And yeah, he got a break for half a season at Arsenal, but apart from that, he's been on that journey with us. Konza from the Championship, Watkins from the Championship, Mings from the Championship, McGinn from Scotland. You know, it's an unreal story, and when we tell this story in 5-10 years, like there needs to be something to define it, and this run in the Champions League and what we're doing in the FA Cup, and like we're going for back-to-back Champions League qualifications in the league. This is like we're living in like a storytelling, a potential storytelling
Sure,
era.
this is Villa we're talking about.
Exactly, yeah. I have to pinch myself, like, and I think the real pinch myself moment come 75 minutes before kick-off on Saturday when we made 8 changes, and I weren't fazed by it. I was like, well, okay, this is what we're about, and we made 8 changes, but still looked strong. We still had different options all over the pitch and the bench, and I feel like since like the Dubai training camp, and we've come back, and I feel like Emery's had a reset, and I feel like we're fully energised.
They feel
and
even more
refocused.
together, don't they?
Yeah, it feels like a start of a real
I think
important.
Luke made a
time.
really good point about being immortality awaits them, and it does. I've spent the last couple of weeks speaking to Peter with, no, just speaking Tony Morley, and just being in and around those guys. And this is, you're talking 43 years ago when they won the competition, and they are still up there with the most exalted team we've ever produced. Yeah. So I think the guys have only got to look, the current squad have only got to look at those guys and what they did. And they were underdogs in that competition. They were massive underdogs in the final. You know, they scrapped their way through the competition, got to the final, and they took their chance. And that's where we're at now. We're at the point where we've got to take our chance. We've got to take this opportunity. And I feel like the established clubs that are in with us now, that have been in there year in, year out, and they've been fighting out for the Champions League for years, I think we've got a little bit of an advantage. I know it sounds really weird, but we've got a hungry squad that has got this suddenly had this chance thrust upon them to be an iconic team, and I think that's hopefully give us that little bit of an edge that we need to. And it's going to be incredibly difficult, you know. Should we progress and, God forbid, win it, then you're looking. But seriously, you're looking at playing Real Madrid more than likely, and probably Barcelona or Bayern in the final. We're going to have to be our very best in every single game. I think I tweeted it today. We are 2 draws and 3 wins away from winning the Champions League. That's the reality of where we are, and this team are ready.
I think to obviously, I imagine there will be PSG fans watching this, thinking who are Aston Villa? We've beat Liverpool. Like, you're not as good as Liverpool, etc. But I think the point that I'd reiterate is that everybody in this competition now deserves to be in this competition. You have earned the right to compete in the quarterfinals. You cannot overlook any team in this right now. I mean, you're looking at Bayern against Inter. Any one of those can go through. You can't just downplay Inter Milan. So I think, you know, when you're talking about the players that you've, you know, been interviewing, like Gary Shaw when we won it in '82, you know, he was UEFA Young Player of the Year, and that could be Morgan Rogers. That could be Jacob Ramsey. You know, it could be. And the point when I'm talking about immortality at the start is, it's really about those players now looking at what this game is and taking it by the scruff of the neck and being present in that game. And I think that is vitally huge. And we've had a really good Champions League campaign so far. We've beat Bayern Munich, we've drew to Juve, we beat Leipzig away, we've, you know, come through Bruges eventually, beat Celtic, you know, really difficult European games. What do you think that run can help in this situation right now?
I think the belief, I think that's the biggest thing. I think quality-wise and ability-wise, that team, we know that team is good enough to beat Paris Saint-Germain. I'm not, I can't believe I'm saying these things now, but that they are good enough to beat Paris Saint-Germain.
I did want to mention one thing anyway, so I'll chip in here about the ability. What this squad has been able to do is we've been able to beat arguably the best team in the world in Manchester City in the last 2 seasons. What we did to Man City last season, I've not really seen a team do that to them when they are at their prime best going for a league. So we've shown that we can beat Man City, we beat Arsenal last year, and we've shown that those top sides, we can beat them. So to look at this fixture and go, it's PSG, they're absolutely amazing. Like, we've shown we can beat top teams.
They're a very good team. There's no doubt about it. You know what they did to Liverpool in that first leg was mind blowing. And we all know that Liverpool massively got away with one, and I think people sort of thought at that point that Liverpool were going to get through, but they even went to Anfield and turned them over there and managed to knock them out. You know, even coming off the back of that disappointing result in the first leg, they're a different animal now, PSG, to what they were a few years ago. But I think what we are is a hungry team. We've got a fantastic balance of not only abilities and qualities, we've got a fantastic balance of experience within the team. You know, people that have won this competition before. This, you know, you can't underestimate the influence that Marco Asensio is going to have, Marcus Rashford is going to have in this team, and the likes of Martinez. That's won the biggest thing you can win in football. You know, and had that experience of having to have that, you know, on your shoulders, walking out in the World Cup final, thinking, God, if we perform today, we've won the World Cup. You know, this is what we need, and you add into that the exuberance of the youth players that we've got that will just be relishing it and probably won't even go into it worried about it. They're just thinking, wow, look what we're doing here. We're going into Paris. We're playing one of the best teams in the world, and you tie all that in with the manager that can come up with a game plan and instill the belief and the confidence in the team as well. You know, for me, I think we can get through. I've been confident all the way through, and you can say that I'm deluded, and I am deluded about the result most of the time. I don't deny that, but my passion comes from. It always used to be, and I would agree, claret tinted glasses. I was always, even when we were getting relegated that season, I was thinking we can beat them, because I just felt that, you know, that's how I wanted to attack games. But now I'm different. We've got a team that can beat anybody. Yeah. And if you can't be confident with the team we've currently got, you might as well just give up watching football.
Yeah, and I think sometimes in football you can have blind faith, can't you? You can just be like, I think we're going to win. But, like, why do you think we're going to win? And I think this is the beauty of Unai Emery, is that he's been able to teach us all as fans how to watch football, but how to watch his team. You know, we know the aspects that our team can produce certain things against certain opposition. And then even when you're analysing the opposition teams, you can look at areas within their team and think, I know we can hurt them in that situation. I know what we've got to do. And I think that's where the belief starts to come through with those. When I was talking about when we beat Man City and Arsenal last year, you know, like the performances that we can really put out there. So Ryan, talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on PSG, if you want to touch on when they played against Liverpool. What did you sort of see when you were watching them?
Yeah, I like the look of them. I do like the look of them. But then we are in the last 8 of the Champions League, so you're going to like the look of every single team in it. And for the Paris fans, I include that. I include us in that as well, because I think it would be quite basic for Paris fans to look at it and go, oh, it's a gimme. Aston Villa's a gimme. We beat Liverpool. They were top of the Premier League, storming it. We're a Villa. They 6? They haven't been in the Champions League since '83. But who are these? Like, no. You know, for us, you know, we are more. We can match Paris. I do like them. I think they're a real good outfit now. I think they've got an identity now. I feel like all the investment they've made and the superstars that they've had, I feel like now you've got a settled team, and there's movement all over the pitch. There's rotations all over the pitch. They're very aggressive in the press. They are very good at man-to-man, and Emery picked up on it on his post-match interview at the end of the game, how we struggled man-to-man with Nottingham Forest, and Paris are very good at man-to-man. So we've got a lot to compete with there. Their counter pressing is excellent. You know, their turnovers, their fast breaks.
Shut up, Ryan.
No, see, hang on. I'll come with the good stuff at the end. I'll come with the good stuff. In the middle, they've got tempo controllers. Up front, you know, they've got ball retainers, dribblers, and the lot. But we can match that. All the good stuff in that team that I talked about and you've analysed, Luke. We've got that capability as well. We've got ball carriers like Morgan Rogers, Rashford. We've got a striker that can run both channels and finish with both feet. We've got tempo setters ourselves in the middle. Tillemans is outrageously good this season. His vision, his control of games. We've got Boubacar Kamara. You have McGinn probably in the 10. Like, he's probably one of the most press-resistant players that we've got. Once he's back to goal and he's turning, you know, defensively we're looking strong. Like, so, you know, we have got the ability to match them, and this is going to be such a tactically interesting game. It's going to be unreal, and you've got to be on it. We've got to be on it, every man, because like I said, it's man-to-man, it's duels, it's winning your duels. You are, as an individual, got to be on it. It's like five-a-side, you know, when you're playing five-a-side, and you've got your man to market, and you know, if you let that man go, you're going to turn around and he's put the ball in the back of the net or have a shot, and I think it's going to be like that. So we're going to be very structured, and we've got to just be on it, and you'd expect that at this level, and it's like you say when we beat Manchester City twice, you know, that we played the perfect game, everybody had the perfect game, and at this level, everyone's got to have a perfect game, whether you're Real Madrid, Arsenal, Munich, Villa. You've got to have that perfect game, and I fully believe we've got it in us.
You've redeemed yourself now,
we've
Ryan.
really
Thanks
got
for
it in us.
Do you know there's one player, right, who I think is going to be the standout player for Villa? You know who it is? Digne. I think he is going to be so key, and I just see him having such a good game, and I think he's going to be the one where we come out of it going, he was class. Because I just think he's got that mindset. Like, he was in the tunnel, weren't he, after the game against Forest, and he was just like, another one. And I thought he sat out, and he's going to be there chomping. He'll be in them tackles. You know how we play Salah?
You know another one he did this season? You know, after the Brighton game, in their tunnel, when he walked through and he did another, and all their players were behind him walking back.
He don't care. The rest of the Villa players in the away tunnel.
Can you imagine a French international walking through the tunnel after beating Paris Saint-Germain with all their players behind him? Another one.
He might struggle to get out, man.
Yeah.
He played for Paris as well, didn't he?
I think
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has. So, I expect him to have a big game. Right. PSG tactically, anyone that's not watched the Villains should go and watch it, because I break through this in a lot more detail. So I'm about to show you the general shape of the PSG team. So 4-3-3, and what we've got is Pacho, Mendes, we'll have Beraldo, and we'll have Hakimi, we'll have Vitinha, we'll have Neves, and we'll have Ruiz. We'll have Kvaratskhelia, we'll have Barcola, and we'll have Ousmane Dembele as well. So 4-3-3. This is the central heartbeat to the team, the hub, everything that we need to make sure that we are stopping. Anybody that watches Spurs and early Ange, you'll see this sort of fullbacks going into these central spaces. They will be out wide, but also come inside as well and play around those central areas. So they'll do the same through there. Hakimi, he can underlap and he can overlap at the same time as well. You'll then have Dembele, who will be dropping and playing as a central playmaker, but leading the line as well. We'll then have these two players that can get further forward as well in Neves and Ruiz. Vitinha will be the one that makes up a back three, so he sort of screens that back three and operates in that area. So this is the general shape of what PSG will be trying to get into against Aston Villa. Like what Ryan said, a lot of rotations, a lot of movement, and we will have to defend compact. You'll see that 5 at the back, you'll see that 6 at the back when we need to as well. And then you've got key areas where Villa will look to try and exploit, which we always do really well, is when teams have a 2 at the back, we attack these areas really well, and we need to make sure that we're shutting down that central midfield. So that's a little bit tactically on what we can expect to see from PSG. Ryan, have we got a little spy in our ranks?
A little spy?
in Asensio, do
Potentially.
you feel like he will have had a chat with Emery about how they play, how they set up, how they defend, how do they attack, what are they trying to do? Because I feel like this is quite a big little area that we've got to be able to find out all the secrets, because every single secret, surely we'll be able to know. Like, what do they do on set pieces? How do they attack them? How do they defend? Where are their weakness? What player, when he gets in? I think that conversation is quite important.
It'd be rude not to extract that information off him, really, because, like you say, you're playing a team. You kind of know your own weaknesses when you're in that team as well. So you'll know what's hurting us and what we got to improve. You knows all these players, and it weren't like he was there last season. He was there this season. He was there a couple of months ago. He was there before Christmas. So he's right in the thick of this, and the way they've evolved this season. You couldn't ask for any better insight.
I mean, I've not heard no one talking about this. Like, I've not seen it on social media. I've not seen, and I just thought, surely that's got to be some form of advantage.
I wonder what, like Enrique's and Asensio, they're both Spanish. Was he translating a lot? Was he a go-to player in the dressing room as well?
I've just got this vision of Emery. He's locked Asensio in a room at Bodymore Heath. He's got one of them lights on him. And he said he's pumping him for every single piece of information for about 6 hours. Waterboarding him. What else are they doing?
Yeah, I can imagine Emery's like, I want to know who takes first throw-in, second throw-in, what's second phase, third phase, or who's the tea lady, who's the receptionist. Like, you want to...
No stone
unturned. Yeah.
I think the biggest mistake Paris Saint-Germain will make, as far as us, and I don't think they'll do this, is underestimating Villa. And they won't underestimate us for one reason, the manager. He'll just know that, we'll be ready to attack them. But looking at what you've just outlined there as their strengths, and I think a sort of way I would like to maybe attack this game, especially the away leg, because we're going to be under a lot of pressure, is almost take a little bit of a leaf out of Nottingham Forest books this season, because they've found themselves under the pump in many, many games with very, very small amount of possession in every game, but they've found ways to win games by hitting people on the break and using the transition, using the wide plays, using pace. And if they do overcommit Paris Saint-Germain, and they are overconfident, and they do, this midfield becomes almost a six across the middle, we can maybe break through the lines and maybe hurt them that way. We're going to have to, and set pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that, because they are not very good at set pieces. Yeah. So they're not very good at sort of like second phase of a set piece. So ball goes into the box, a runner coming from somewhere. So that's another area. I think Donnarumma's been a bit shaky at times. Shoot from distance, little flappy here and there, so I think those are areas. But Ryan mentioned earlier, ball carriers. If you're camped in at times, ball carriers, dribbling, free kicks, all those little advantages are huge.
I think my main concern in this game is us getting out. Like, their press is intense. And then I was having a look at some of their stats, opposition stats against them, and like goalkeepers, ball launches was like 1 in every 2 balls were launched and possession lost. So I'm interested to see how we get out, because when you...
Is that opposition against them?
Well, look how many players were there, like the 6 in front, and they're very intense.
So opposition teams have been more reticent to play out from the back because of the high press.
So they go long and they're cutting it off.
But then I think the beauty of our last game was we had a little bit of a mare. So we've had a bit of a mare against Forest, playing out and going long and it coming back. Yeah. So the fact that we're now, we've sort of, sometimes when like you have a game and you're like, that didn't work, but we've got to learn from that. Well, we know what we've got to do in the next game, basically. Yeah. So it's got to stick. He can sort of show the players what he wants from it, rather than having to think of something that hasn't happened before. So
I think Martinez will be a key player.
I was just going to say that. He's going to have the ball he's so good at his release as well, and he is good at setting off quick attacks. And I think if they are overcommitting, especially, and let's say something breaks down and Martinez can get the ball when they are overcommitted the midfield, then maybe you got to maybe say to the likes of Rodgers, Asensio, Rashford, whoever's playing out wide, make a quick turn and go for 3 up front. Make your runs out wide, and Martinez immediately release the ball and go over the top of that. Because if they have committed 6 players and they've only got 2 at the back, and you've got 3 that can quickly break through a press, you haven't got to go short, have you?
No.
You can go bang, let's go long.
I always remember Arsenal last season, and he put Zaniolo right on the touchline, and we pinged the diagonal to him every time. And
I will say one thing.
Get out.
What is absolutely beyond critical for us on Wednesday, if it is Ollie Watkins that's starting up top, he has to get hold of that ball.
Yeah.
He cannot let that ball bounce off him. It is mega critical that whenever he gets the ball, whether it's played into him, long or whatever, he's got to try and get hold of it, and he's got to battle his arse to keep hold, because you are not going to be able to get out if your centre forward doesn't hold on to that ball.
I think it will be Watkins, because he needs someone that can run both channels. In my head, I'm thinking Rashford on one side, Rodgers on the other, and Watkins up top, and he'll move. When Rashford went up top...
to be honest though, in this situation, with how they defend and leave that 2 or a 3, Watkins is perfect. We've seen it time and time again against Man City, Arsenal, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, that player should have been sent off, because So that's perfect for Watkins. But like what you say, I'll double down on this. It has to stick. Because if you're under immense pressure, that ball, when it goes there, has got to stick. You've got to bring players in. Because that would be like worst case scenario for me. If that ball goes up there and keeps coming back and back and back, but
not only does it start attacks, and not only does it allow you an opportunity to cause them trouble, but you're taking pressure off your back four, and we're going to be literally getting pounded for 90 minutes if you're not careful. And it's going to be much harder to play through the lines with a really congested middle period as well. So having that release ball, whether it's Martinez or a Pau Torres, whoever it is, like you say, Luka Dean down that left hand side, that's why I think it's critical that, and I think the 5 subs are going to be massive again, because those 3 up top, whoever's playing the 2 wide and the centre forward, after an hour they're going to be absolutely done in, because they're going to be running their arses off, not only tracking back and trying to cover these runs, the attacking runs from the full-backs, but they're also going to have to be on the turn for a quick kick out from Emery Martinez. There's so many different aspects to this game that are just fascinating.
I think the beauty about us, and Emery especially, is that we can have a game plan for this game. So even though we've got the same formation that we play, we've seen in the past under Emery that there are specific little things that we can do. Like always remember McGinn up against Dan Burn, Zaniolo, etc. Those little subtle tactical tweaks. But that, for me, that's we have to find one of those for this game. We have to find that little tactical sort of like nuance that really sort of makes it very difficult for PSG.
I've got a question for you two then. Do you think he will set us up to be defensively minded first? Or do you think he'll go like we normally play and say, okay, let's just do what we normally do, retain the ball, play it from the back? Or do you think he'll go a bit more defensively minded?
I think he'll go for Villa to go and control the ball. Yeah. That's what I think we'll do.
I don't think he's ever gone defensive minded.
No, what I mean by that is, be a little bit more cautious.
I think we'll be like a low to mid block.
Because what we'll do...
We'll have a get out. But we will still...
How brave will he be with going forward?
We'll still have a philosophy to score a goal.
I
still think Emery, essentially, is an attacking coach. But I think he wants to score more goals than that we concede. So.
I think we've learned, and you learn, and we've had 2 seasons back in Europe now, is these 2-legged games are critical that you don't lose it in the first leg, especially having the second leg back at home. So you're going to have to say, okay, if you can get a goal, brilliant, but don't over-concede.
No, I think we will be a bit lower, and
that's what I'm
more contained and more contained.
I'm not saying he's going to go 6 at the back. No, he's not going to be like that.
It'll be for a period.
No, but this is the thing, though, Justin. Like, we won't go and like park a bus, but Emery tactically, he's got these certain things that he can do. So what I expect to happen is we'll be a narrow 4. If the ball goes on that left-hand side, then you'll have that one that plays there. We'll drop in and make a back 5. Then we'll have a back 6. That's what I mean.
We've seen almost a 6.
So this is how we'll be probably. We'll be like that.
So do you think last season especially when we was doing really well, when we were winning in games, we saw this quite a lot, didn't we? When we'd go, okay, let's sit in, you'd put a couple of extra defensive midfielders on, even an extra centre half on. That's what I'm saying. So do you think this will be implemented from the start of the game?
Yeah, I think that shape will be
But allowing
how
the
we
wide
defend.
that's what I'm saying. So when they've got theirs across the middle here, and if the ball breaks through to Martinez, then you've got this is what I'm saying about these pair. Have got to be absolutely bang at it. Right, let's get forward now. And if we have got a quick breakaway, if they have just left two at the back here, you can maybe get away with. And then Watkins has got to then spin in and go in.
So you talk
Love
about
my tactic more. Don't you been waiting to get your hands on that, ain't you? I was sitting when I thought that, I thought, I'm having a little go on this.
That's what I'm saying. It gives you a good idea of where you are and where they are.
But you talk about Watkins having to hold the ball up. 100% agree. And like I say, everyone's got to have an A-star game. But if he's holding that ball up, you've got to back him up. You've got to back him
That's
up.
what I'm saying. If he doesn't hold it up, they ain't got the chance to get up the pitch and even to try and support him. As important as set plays are going to be,
Free kicks around the box, whatever.
you've got to be able to, hopefully, create problems in game as well. We can't just rely on, let's get the odd corner every 10 minutes. You've got to give them things to think about. Because that second leg, we want to put enough doubt in their minds to think, shit, we haven't got enough goals here. We're going to be struggling when we get to Villa Park.
Right, let's predict this lineup then. Villa fans at home, predict your lineup. So we'll start. Mind my handwriting, right? So we'll start with the world's best World Cup winning goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Back four. So we'll start here and we'll get to this will be the most difficult one, which we might all disagree on. So for me,
I know where I'm at.
For me, I'm going Digne.
I agree.
Right, Digne.
Categorical.
Yeah.
Right, we'll tease you a little bit. I'd go Konsa.
Agree.
Yeah. Right. Here, for me, all day long, Pau Torres.
Yeah.
Because we know we're going to have to defend, but we're going to have to pass well.
Yeah.
And him
Ball
passing
retention.
in here.
Ball retention.
And remember, he's won a European trophy. He's been to the semi-final before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, he's key.
He's key to getting out.
Yeah.
Because he can bypass a midfield.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I think the likes of maybe a Mings would be great to come on with 10 to go and add that extra.
I think with Paris's attack as well, they're very mobile, they're very energetic.
Yeah.
They're through balls in between. So they're mobile.
And I also don't think that they are over-reliant on long balls and we don't need that. What Mings is a brilliant clearer of the ball and blocker.
Yeah. They're going to be more nuanced around the box, aren't they, and try and pick holes in us. So I think
and he's tactically and technically switched on up here.
Yeah, we've seen him struggle in the physical battle, where I don't think
they don't have that.
It's not.
That's what I mean.
It's more movement, and Pau can read the game.
Yeah. Right. So right back, Disassi.
I agree.
Oh my God, guys!
That's what I was going with.
Now, why this is so important for me, right, is the fact that this will become a back three. We won't ask Kamara to have to screen as much, and he can be in that midfield.
You can't
up
lose
against.
his presence
No,
in midfield.
He has to be in there up against Vitinha, Ruiz, and then you've got Neves in there as well. So that's why we're going with that. Then we'll go with Tielemans, yeah?
Yep.
Right.
It's going well, isn't
It is. Right. Left, Rashford.
Agree.
Great.
Oh my God, guys. Right, Rashford. Been here before, guys. He smashed it in this stadium before. Right. Up top, Watkins. Yeah.
Has to be if Rashford's on the left.
Right. On the right, Rodgers.
Yep. For me.
Right, hold on. Let's see where we go with this. And off Watkins, McGinn.
100%.
Right. Now,
for me, that's a number.
Shall I show you what? And I'll explain why, and then Justin, if he disagrees, can. What we need to get from this player here is to make sure that, remember, Vitinha, Neves, and Ruiz, we've got three players that aren't overloaded between our two. So McGinn drops, so McGinn can drop into here, then Rodgers can then go into that area if needed.
My only curveball.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
But I'm trying to think of a way to get Asensio in the starting 11. Only because I think he adds that bit of an X factor. And I do think playing up against players he knows about, as we've talked about, could be important. And I'm only putting it out there as a thought idea. Could potentially Rashford start up top?
What are you forgetting about Asensio? He's going to have a suit on and he's going to be next to Emery as assistant.
But my only idea is that Watkins is carrying this knee injury. He wasn't that mobile at the weekend. Rashford's shown that he's been excellent up top. So I think as an option, I'm going to just throw it out there, you put Rashford up top, you bring Rodgers over to the left where he can play, and then McGinn plays on the right, which he plays really well, and then you drop Asensio in the hole. It's just an idea.
Yeah. No, what see, because the other option is there's no Ramsey, is there?
No.
So Ramsey defensively for Emery is very, very good. So
I think my only concern with Rashford up front, if Rashford's up front and maybe a Ramsey on the left, Rashford always gravitates to the left, and then even when he's playing up front against Preston and Brighton in the week, he'd go out on the left, and then Ramsey would move into that half space. But then I felt like Rodgers was kind of isolated on that right hand side, where with Watkins up top, especially for this game, looking solely at this game, Watkins can offer support on each channel. You don't really see Rashford as a number 9 move out to the right hand side channel.
I agree. I think the thing that will be going around Emery's head is we are going to be
working off less possession of the ball. So when we do get the ball,
we've got to make sure
do you know, like thinking about this.
So an Asensio in there who can put his foot on the ball and dictate it a bit more. I love this setup. I think it's great, but ball retention wise, you stick Asensio in there, he puts his foot on the ball.
Yeah, but I just think there's no. I think as much as I love Asensio, we need legs. Yeah. We need loads of legs.
You'd have legs.
I know, but we need.
But also, I think McGinn has to start because he gives you that energy and he gives you that. He can also drop in and help these guys out in here. And I think by having Rodgers and Rashford is your pivot, is your attack basically, and Asensio gives you a little bit more control. That's all I'm saying. McGinn and Asensio gives you a little bit more control in there if you need it. Whereas if you've got Rashford, Watkins, and Rodgers, that's 3 real ball carrying attackers. Yeah. Whereas Asensio and McGinn are more centrally bound to keep hold of the ball. So you're only having 2. I know it's probably less of an attacking threat, but you're getting a little bit more control in the middle of the park.
I do think Asensio's got a role to play in this game. And
but is it too late to bring him on after half an hour to go?
I think with McGinn...
Would you not want that control from the start that he might give you?
No, I think we need bite and we need energy and we need legs.
I think we need to.
I don't think Asensio will drop back into, say, next to Tielemans. I don't think he
I don't think
Rashford gives you anything less up front than Watkins does currently, given that he's got this knock. I think.
You know, the one thing that I think Watkins gives you more than Rashford is, I think, he gives you that. He's always there, and what I've watched from Rashford's press is. It's different to Watkins' press, in my opinion. I think Watkins is a lot more disciplined with it. And I think, although Rashford's very good at it, I just think Watkins is better at it.
Rashford's more explosive.
Hold on, here's a mad one.
Oh, here we go.
Right, here's a mad one. What about if Watkins come out and Asensio come in? So you played kind of like strikerless.
That's what I'm saying.
McGinn drop deep, and then the attributes you're talking about.
So play a false 9.
Hold the ball up and release players, unlock players, and then Rashford and Rodgers go.
Yeah, you're playing a false 9 there then, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, that would be a tactical. That would be something different.
That would be left field.
Yeah.
It would be very left field. Yeah.
Right, let's go that then. Let's go that.
That was what I said, but
an Emery team is very fluid.
And I'm not saying if you stick Rashford up there that we're going to be under the pump. We know that, and we're going to have very limited amount of maybe attacks. So a front 4 that's very mobile and can move around and attack from different areas could be massive. And even this point you're making about wanting Kamara to sit in the middle, 100%, he needs to be there as much as he can. But he has also got the footballing IQ, intelligence to sit in if we need him. And then the McGinn can drop in and help out in the middle of the park. But then that leaves 3 here. Well, my only point is you're leaving Rashford and Rodgers, whether it's out wide or centrally, And these two, it's almost a 4-2-2-2. Essentially, with those two, you've got two attackers up top. These two here can either sit in or help out. These two can just shield the back four, and your back four are very solid and can play out.
Yeah. So let's go then. Let's run through the whole team what we've got here, and let's go 100%, and then we'll see where we left off. The world's best is 100%. 100, 100, 100, 100, yeah?
Yeah.
100, 100.
Yeah.
100% he plays.
Rodgers and McGinn play.
Right, 100% he plays. 100% Rashford plays. So the only one we got is whether it's Watkins or Asensio.
I think that's fair.
I think Watkins.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stick with Asensio.
Right.
It's a fair comment. Like, this is what we've got a squad for. With all these different.
But the thing is,
But it's not irrelevant. But what is very important, and we've said this so many times, is this team that starts won't be the team that finishes. And those five off the bench are going to be absolutely massive in this game.
So what about Ramsey? Ramsey's in good form, isn't he? But
A lot of them are, though, isn't
yeah,
they? What about the ones that aren't even going to make the bench?
that's mad, isn't it?
yeah. Right. So with all that's our lineup, guys. Like, if you put your lineups in, what you think, etc. Right. So I'm going to ask you all now briefly.
5-0 Villa.
No. What's for Villa worst case scenario?
What, you want to go into the second
Taking it back to Villa Park. For me, worst case scenario, for me to feel comfortable, I think, is how I'm going to phrase this, and you guys let us know as well, would be to be 1-0 down. I think
Worst case
that's my worst case, 1-0 down. I think 2-0 down is next goal's key, isn't it? A bit like what Bruges were like, you know, they have to get the next goal, and then it's only a 1-goal game, isn't it? But if they score, it takes you out the game completely. So for me, I think losing by 1 goal would be like okay. I think.
So what you said is what you're happy to come back with.
Yeah, I think not
what
worst case
negative
scenario.
result
Yeah.
could happen that we're happy to come back with,
And I think
and
one
still be
is
in the game.
one, and I'd be like, we can beat these at home.
I was going to say, my worst case scenario is losing 5-0 there. But, you know, hopefully that won't happen. Yeah. I think anything less than a 2-goal deficit, we're in the game still.
Yeah.
And that's, I wouldn't want to come back with a 2-goal deficit, a 2-0 or a 3-1 or a 4-2, whatever it may be. Because I think that's, as we found when we came back to Villa Park, as Bruges found, you know, coming back with a 2-goal deficit, it's so hard. It's so hard because it gives the opposition so much to play with. 1 goal would be ideal for me.
Yeah, I'm
At worst, 1 goal. We come back with a 1-0, a 2-1, a 3-2. We are huge.
I mean, at home, we can beat anyone at home.
100%.
Like anyone. Like, I don't care who you are.
I would even say we're marginal favourites.
Yeah.
My only concern with PSG is they're quite good away, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're
That's
set
approved
up
at
to be
Anfield.
a very good away team as well. And all the
But I think
attributes we
Liverpool
talked
also
about.
took them too lightly at Anfield. They didn't put the pressure on them.
But then if Liverpool had took them early chances with Salah, it's a different game.
That's
Do you
the
know?
most critical
And I think the
part. We've got to
media
take
have
our
done
chances.
this weird thing with this game in the sense of because, and I don't know what it's like for the French media, but for the English media, it's like, because Liverpool have been beat by this team, it now makes this team the favourites to like go on and win the whole thing. When if you're looking about this team and you're thinking PSG, and I fully respect them, but it's like they were shocking in the group phase.
Well, we should beat Liverpool at home.
They limped through that. They've beat a team that's from their own nation in the playoff game.
Haven't they just been knocked out of one of their domestic cups by a 3rd division team?
No, that was Leverkusen.
That was Leverkusen. Yeah.
Wrong country,
I thought
mate.
it was PSG.
But,
Paris are currently undefeated in the league. And
Shut
I
up,
think they're
Ryan.
in the cup final.
But you know, I mean, this is the thing. Like we're a really good team, and I think, I think it was.
Well, look at Jamie Carragher. You know, you talk about the
Yeah.
media when he done that, like the spoiler graphs, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Villa gone, yeah, it'll be Liverpool versus Madrid and all that," and it's like, nah.
And the beauty of this game is that even though we back our team, the pressure on PSG is huge.
Well, I would say it's better to be the underdog.
Because
and fight for it.
if we can come up with a tactical game plan and make it very, very difficult for them the pressure in their own stadium to win that game is huge, unlike no other game they've played all season, really.
Yeah.
Because against Liverpool, they probably were the underdogs a little bit, even though you'll hear PSG fans say they're favourites to win the whole thing. They were underdogs through that moment, and they ended up winning. So their fans are going to think, oh, we're going to beat Villa. And we rock up at Villa Park and we play in Ipswich, and we don't beat Ipswich, and you think you're going to rock up and win. So I think the pressure on them to actually go through is absolutely huge. And they've had a bit of a mare in the past before. So I think in this situation, we want to be the underdog, surely.
100%.
Right, so final question then to sort of finish off this preview. We're going to predict the first tie scores then, right? So Arsenal, Real Madrid.
Is it Arsenal the first
Yeah.
leg? Arsenal. I think Real Madrid will win both legs, personally.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
What do you think?
I think I agree. I don't think
Well,
Arsenal.
I don't think they got the.
I think Arsenal at home,
No.
I think they might
Just Madrid,
do something.
They're just like a different beast.
Yeah,
in the
but they're-
Champions League.
they're
They
a
just lost
bit-
at home to Valencia.
They're a
They
bit
had
weird at the
2-1.
minute though, aren't they? Like, they're a bit...
I thought they were a bit weird. And they just took Manchester City clean out, didn't they?
Champions League is there.
Yeah, okay,
They're just
all right.
live,
All right.
I think 2-0 in both.
Okay.
legs.
Yeah.
Barcelona, Dortmund.
I think Barcelona comfortably.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
they're
so.
looking like
They're
that.
at
They're
home.
motoring it, mate.
Right, Bayern, Inter.
I fancy Inter to go through in this one.
I think I do.
Inter a proper stuff.
Yeah.
I fancy them to do a job on Vincent Company.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. They'll only win by the odd goal, Inter.
It'll be tight.
But
tight
they'll
games,
win.
yeah.
I think barring the Barca tie, every game will be tight.
Right. Score prediction for PSG Villa. I have had this in my head for the last few days. 2-2.
Oh, that's what.
I'll snatch your hands off for that.
Translate it to me.
Mate, I visioned it. I
That's what
visioned...
just popped into my head. Yeah. Never like to say we'd lose. I think we got a goal in us, you know.
But they do concede.
Yeah.
I mean, they're conceding in the French league. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
I think we've definitely got a goal in us. Definitely got a goal.
What are you saying then?
1-1.
Gone for 2 draws.
1-1. You know what? I think we might take the lead, you know.
yeah, I think we take the
I
lead.
think we might.
Yeah.
I've never, in the whole time of doing this
Just
podcast,
don't bother saying it then.
No, listen.
predicted a Villa loss.
You did it once, and you were so upset with yourself all week. Sobbing on the WhatsApp group. Really nice stuff. I can't believe we've done it. I can't believe
Okay,
we've
I've
done
done
it.
it once. But I'm not going to do it again.
Yes, get in there.
2-1 Villa.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to finally end this on. It's the biggest game of our lives to get into this semi-final. We have to be the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
It's got to go perfect.
We have to be perfect. We have to just listen to everything that Emery said. We have to be intense. We have to just play the best we physically can. And one player is going to get the attention of the whole of Europe. And it's going to be Morgan Rogers.
That's you. That's your star, man, isn't it?
He, along with Dino, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
he
And them in my team.
he's going to be the player
Your
that
team.
everybody talks about because he's just going to be incredible.
Do you know the player I think is going to win us the game?
Go on.
Marcus Rashford.
I'll do it again. He's got form there, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got form.
Do you know what though? I'm actually excited. I'm not afraid of PSG.
I'm not afraid of anyone.
I don't think you could look at it and go, oh, Villa fans, they're backing themselves. They're a bit delusional if they think they're going to go there. But we know what we've got. We know the tools that we've got. We know the manager can set tactical traps and can set a team up to win a game as an underdog. You know, Emery's got so much form being the underdog. And that's where he thrives, isn't it? And like these players, look at the players we've got on this tactics board. These are top
And there's
quality
another 12 or
players.
13 on top of that.
Yeah, it's so we're not delirious because we're in the quarterfinals and we're happy to be here. We're looking at trying to win this tie.
But there's a
we've got
body
tools
of
to do
work
it.
behind us now that we can
Yeah.
reference. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And we know we're not talking rubbish anymore. We're talking
elite level, and that's where.
Like that's exactly what I was saying earlier. I'm not asking for a performance here that I've not seen us do before. No. I'm asking us to reach that level of a Man City game, an Arsenal away game. Those are the performance. This is the level that it's going to have to be to beat this team.
Villa at the best on Wednesday night. This will be the tie of the round for me.
Yeah.
We're the story of it now, isn't it? Like the spotlight is like firmly on the Champions League now, and like it's gonna ramp up in it in the next couple of days. And like you say with Rodgers, it's gonna get so much attention and so much. It's gonna be analysed. Like it's a huge occasion, and it's these players now. It's time to step up, and it's time. We're the big boys now, and it's time for these lads to be big boys. And it's
just wait till we go to the Bernabeu in the semi-final.
And the other thing is that these levels of games don't come around every week.
No.
So whenever you're in a situation, and even if you're in a situation in life, when life throws an opportunity, you've got to go out there and grasp it. So that's what we need to do. Right, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you for the reaction to this game. You can check out the episode that I did with the Parisian Londoner as well, so go and check that one out. Up the Villa.
up the